Casually explained America. I'm so down for this.
Sponsored by ExpressVPN.
I must warn you, my knowledge of America ain't that much.
Now, America is known as the land of the free and home of the brave, and while land remains very expensive and most millennials and Gen Z are too anxious to answer phone calls, it's still nevertheless a pretty good slogan. One thing that's rarely considered by
It's fucking true, man. I feel like our society today, like low key, like when I was younger, people would just like drop by, like especially in Italian culture, like you just drop by like friends' houses, your family's houses, just uninvited, just ring the doorbell. I feel like nowadays, like half the time, my family doesn't even fucking answer the door if someone like if someone rings the doorbell. I know a lot of people that don't even answer the door. It's like I know who's coming. It's probably just some fucking someone trying to sell us something, right? So it's like you like nowadays, before you show up at someone's house, like you call them or send them a quick text or like yeah, it's at least like a casual call. I'm on the road. Are you home? You know. But like yeah, no, people are fucking too scared to answer phone calls nowadays.
Americans, however, is that there are other countries in the world besides America.
No.
For example, the
other countries, please.
A nice picture on Reddit where someone was like, "Everyone loved my homegrown tomato salad at our wedding reception," and one comment was like, "You shouldn't be having a wedding reception with dozens of people right now. That is completely irresponsible." And it had a bunch of upvotes. Then a couple hours later, the person responded saying, "I live in New Zealand, but I thought you might have liked to see my tomatoes." And in a time like this, that really made me think, damn, I wish I was married. And while we're all still envious of New Zealand right now, a lot of people particularly criticize America's response to COVID-19 because 500,000 people have died from a half.
Can you casually explain how to become a Chad lad? Alright. Step 1. Try to get better at something. And do that fucking every day. Until you are better. And you're a fucking Chad at whatever you're whatever you're doing, you know? I want to be a Chad at Apex. We'll fucking play Apex every day and eventually you'll become a Chad. I feel like becoming a Chad is just trying to like improve at something. So if it's for your body, just fucking working out every day and just getting jacked, getting swole as fuck. If it's for sports, it's just like I want to be a Chad at this game. Just trying to improve, you know? You're not as Chad because you're trash at Apex. Spectrum, shut the fuck up. I will slap you at Apex Legends. Please. Dude, technically, I'm like, dude, if I got the Diamond 3, I was so fucking close. I was like 2 games away from Diamond 3. I would be in the top 1% of Apex players. 1v1 viewer tourney. Let's fucking, low key, boys, low key. We can make that happen. So on July 31st, I have a tournament coming up, but I'm helping set it up. So technically, I will have access to a link where I could do private matches. So obviously we could do 1v1s, but what I'm thinking is like 3v3s arena or like a little pre-tournament tourney, you know? Wheel? Who's we, Spectrum? Are you talking about like the community? I'll fucking 1v2 you kids. I gotta test out the server to make sure it's good, you know? We're just beta testing. We're just beta testing.
Half-assed pandemic response. But in my opinion, the number would be much higher than 550,000 if they had not locked down at all. And frankly, given the size of the country, it's remarkable that only 583,000 people have died so far. Now, while many consider America to be the greatest country on Earth, this is most only true in terms of nuclear submarines. Nevertheless, America is known for its political democracy. Political democracy, of course, being the belief that if Cyberpunk barely functions on PlayStation, surely it would have worked great on Xbox. It's for this reason one of the most exciting things to absolutely not be a part of is the American political climate. For example, sometimes I go on Twitter to make sure no one has escaped into the real world, and it's always an eye-opening experience, because there are really only 2 types of people on Twitter. On one side, there are the ones that think Trump is the Lord and Savior of God's flat Earth.
Of God's flat Earth.
A bottle of syrup relinquishes them from their original white sin. Some academics have suggested this kind of division could lead to a civil war, but in my opinion, as someone who grew up with Xbox Live and a microphone, it's sounding a lot more like a Halo 3 lobby than Fort Sumter 1861. For starters, if there is some type of conflict, it's already a no-brainer who would win. One side collects military-grade firearms as a hobby, and the other side thinks mental illnesses are Poke Badges. Second of all, if you get a kid from California to march to the Deep South, when he sees 3 bedrooms in a yard for $100K, you can be pretty sure he'll be welding trailers, driving a lifted F-150, and banging Joe Exotic real quick. To me, if you chop off the 2 political...
Oh, man. I mean, that's true. I never even thought about that. In the case of like a civil war, right-leaning people that support guns have a definitely have a big advantage. But I feel like there's more, like, people in big cities tend to be more left-leaning. So I think, like, would it be more of a population thing advantage? People versus guns? Anyway, there's really no point. But yeah, bro, fucking cost of living is actually insane. I told you guys this. I had to pay $55,000 for a parking spot. I just want that to turn into a meme because it's actually gross and disgusting. It makes me want to puke whenever I think about it. Take this in. Take this in. People can buy a home. Jordan was selling me pictures of homes. Homes for like $70,000. I mean, I think it was a condo actually. But like homes for like $200,000. I spent $55,000 on a parking spot because I live in a city. For 2 lines of piece of pavement. Fuck. I'm gonna tent out in my parking spot. I'm just gonna put a tent there and live there. What the fuck? That's crazy. I live in a city, dude. You literally can't live anywhere. Like if you want to buy a home in a city, you need $2 million, which is why I'm never fucking moving out. Actually, I did buy a condo, but like I bought one that's going to like be built in like, it's not for people started off here. If you want to live somewhere besides where you're fucking born, if you want to move out and live in the city, like you literally need to buy something that's not even built yet. Like I literally bought a fucking vacant lot where it's like, hey, in 4 years, there will be a condo that's like $1,000 a square feet that you could live in, maybe. Also, yeah, on top of like the fact that like you could barely afford to like buy this place that it doesn't even exist yet, I want you to also pay $55,000 for a parking spot that doesn't exist yet. Fuck! I'm getting heated. Let's just watch a YouTube video.
Political extremes, basically everyone just wants a good life. But the lives of city-dwelling and rural Americans are so different, of course they're never going to understand each other's perspective. It's the same story back during the actual Civil War. Even though they were fighting, both the North and the South were ultimately saying the same thing. Black people should be...
Dang, I need to move legit. You live in, don't you live in like LA, Tomu? Or am I completely imagining that? New York? No. I think you live in a city, for sure. There's no way you live in Toronto, otherwise we would have hung out by now. SF Bay. Yes, I know what that means. Dude, I don't know fucking anything about the US. San Francisco? Is that San Fran? Bay area? Yes, sir. Oh, look at me. Fucking geography is everything, boys. You love to see it.
free. Now, what...
I live in the Boonies Briggs. I'm buying 10 acres with 3 houses on the side of a mountain for 220K Canadian. Creek and a shop on the property with 300 acres. Bro, I hate you. I actually hate you. I hate you. The thing is, with my job, I could work anywhere. So realistically, I should just go somewhere with a low cost of living and just be set for life. But my friends, my family, my girlfriend all live very close to me. So it's like, I feel like I'm stuck. I can't move.
21, as opposed to Canada where it's 18 or 19, or Europe when it's whenever you have the balls, or Latin America where laws are just things the police make up when they see it.
That's so fucking true. In Europe, well, like European like families like allow their kids to like have a little bit of wine with like their dinner, at least in like Italy. But like I know like my cousin at like 14 would just like go into a bar and order a drink. At fucking like 14, 15, it's like once you have the balls to do it, they'll serve you. But if you go in there and you act like you're not confident, they're like, yeah, no, get lost.
Tourist. Now, a lot of people think it's ridiculous that you have to be 21 to buy alcohol, but personally, I think it makes a lot of sense. If my neighbor was some 18-year-old kid, and I saw him in the yard dual-wielding akimbo P90s and obliterating a paper cutout of his ex-girlfriend taped to a sandbag, I'd think to myself, well, good thing he isn't drunk. So, as a Canadian, in my opinion, one of the best things about America is that most people are unusually friendly. Like here in Canada, we mind our own business at all times, unless we minorly inconvenience someone, in which case we apologize profusely for ruining their lives. But in the States, if you stand next to someone for literally any...
I appreciate how like thankful and apologetic people are in Canada, but sometimes it's too much. It's like you said sorry 5 times, leave me alone. You Did I ever tell you guys this story where some girl dropped $20 and I gave her the $20 back? I'm like, hey, you dropped $20, and she was just so grateful. She kept on thanking me, and by the end of the conversation, I'm like, fuck, I wish I kept the $20. Not even for the $20, just because you thanked me for like the last like 10 minutes. Like I'm sitting here in line trying to fucking send a couple messages and buy my beverage, and I swear to God, this girl was just like so thankful, and it was cute at first, and like I appreciate it, you know, like when you do something nice for someone, like getting a thank you or two means a lot. But I do not exaggerate. I am not exaggerating to say at least 15 thank yous, potentially 20, lowballing like 15. Imagine like, I don't know, I just didn't know what this, you know, it puts me in an awkward situation where I just don't know what to say. Like, yeah, no problem, no worries. Like, it was no big deal. Eventually get to the point where I just don't know what to say. So it just feels awkward, you know? You know what's so fucking funny? I have this girl on my volleyball team. She's actually like really good at volleyball, but she's just so apologetic anytime she does anything because she feels bad about like messing up and like letting the squad down. So what she does is she'll literally like make a good bump, say sorry. She fucking spiked the other day, got a point, landed in the corner, said sorry. I'm just like, you are literally such a Canadian stereotype. It's hilarious. You just got us the point and apologized. Make it make sense. Like, I love her. She's so like, what's it called? Like, I don't know. She's so nice and she's really good. But like, it's just funny how apologetic she is. Tupac Mochi, thank you for the tier 1, brother. I appreciate it.
Any reason, that is permission for them to tell you all about their uninteresting life. So one of my most American experiences was when I went to Disney World, and I was waiting in a fairly long line for a churro, and there must have been at least 3 or 4 mobility scooters in front of me with some rather hefty individuals riding them around. And while that makes sense because it's Florida, the part that got me was when another 300-pound dude in a scooter just cut in front of me and was like, a lot of traffic today. And I was just thinking, traffic? Sir, this is a churro line. And as I was still processing what was happening, a lady about the same size wheels up behind him with a cone full of churros sticking out of her purse. She lightly rear ends his scooter like a bumper car, and he's like, oh, hey, honey, as he takes the churro and says to me, well, you have a good night, tips his Miami Dolphins hat, and rolls away hand in hand with his wife to watch the fireworks over the Disney castle and truly live the American dream.
That is the American dream,
so anyway,
right there.
That's my argument against universal health care. Now, let's say you want to get out of America, but you can't because there's
Yo,
a
he's
wall.
just as good at
Instead,
staying on topic as I am. Yo, what is up, boys? I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, be sure to drop a sub for more daily content here on my second channel. You heard that right, boys. Daily content on the second channel, taken from my stream, twitch.tv/BriggsADA, whether it's a reaction or a highlight. I will be doing daily uploads here. I do want to try doing like a higher quality upload on my main channel once per week. No promises in that regard, but I'm going to try to do that. But for the time being, daily uploads here. Subscribe for more. And just like that, I'll see you guys all next time, all right? Shimpaku.